And I am here with one of my favourite politicians in the whole world, and that is Senator Ronan Mullen.
Thank you very much, Roisin.
Senator Ronan Mullen, you have been a hero to many women and child here in Ireland, especially coming up to the referendum. You are on the Committee of Arts, Media and Sport.
Yes.
You've been very vocal this week on the waste and absolute. It's a catastrophe the way RTE are behaving, especially in every way, and funding, and money, and waste.
Yes, well, what was interesting there, I am on that committee, is where the committees are only getting back together now, as you know, because of the ferment after the general election. So it's only now that the committees are getting down to work in recent weeks. I am on the Culture, Communication, Sport, and the DG, and there was about 11 people in. There was a whole panoply of publicly funded people who came in to the committee, and the questioning was mainly about financial issues and obviously stewardship of public money given to RTE and various accounting problems that needed to be discussed. But I'm always really focused on, well, what kind of culture is RTE promoting? Is it reflecting a genuine diversity of views in society? And what I thought was amusing when Kevin Backhurst, who did his best to answer my questions, but when I put it to him and his colleagues that there seemed to be a sameness of opinion, a certain tendency to favour so-called progressive points of view, to the detriment of what, for want of a better phrase, one might call more socially conservative points of view. And was it time that they did some kind of an audit to see that they have sufficient diversity in their ranks? It is interesting because they've been worshipping at the altar of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion for so long. But what that God seems to have brought them is a lack of diversity and a commitment to a lack of diversity on a certain amount of issues. And I thought to put the cap on the irony was when Kevin Backhurst said, "Oh well, we can't be doing an audit of the various political or religious views." Of course, I never said anything about religious views, but he said, that would be like North Korea. Well, I'm sorry, the last time I looked, North Korea used their authority in North Korea in order to impose conformity, not to ensure diversity. So I don't know where he got that particular line from. But again, what I'm hoping is that people will take this up with their politicians. I did notice that I sensed there were quite a few politicians around me on that committee who would have agreed with some of what I said. They didn't open their mouths because there's a party kind of line on these things. Oh well, we better not get on to that, and I might get asked questions about that. People need to ask their politicians, will you please speak up on some of this stuff, because it is not healthy to have a publicly funded. And now that we're committing $750 million to RTE over the next few years.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Like there has to be a commitment to genuine public service broadcasting, and that's why I said there needs to be an audit of how RTE is fulfilling its public service remit. You can't be taking the money and saying, "Now, thank you very much. Now leave it to us to decide what's fair or not fair." I'm sorry, you are ignoring whole swathes of the community and their ideas and values on some issues. That has to stop.
Senator Ronan Mullen, my favourite politician, along with the other.
Very bad taste.
You have been such a great advocate for women, and especially with everything that's happened over the last couple of years. I'd like to thank you personally from my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Count on my efforts. I don't know. I can't say I'm always right, but I'll always try and get it right as far as I can. So, Mila Buikas.
Well, no one's always right.
That's true.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.